It is Minneapolis. We're watching Dante's Boxing Nation. Keep watching. Bye.
Okay. No. Hey. Lorenzo. You hear me over there?
Yeah. Oh, whatever you need.
Isn't there a thing called posting and pasting? Just copy paste because I don't. Just take what I said yesterday and copy and paste it. It would save you guys a lot of trouble listening to.
Yeah, I just wanted to
have a schmuck like me talk.
say something different.
Save you a lot of trouble. Ask something different.
I'm gonna have something to
I
say
just
in a
came from
different
the
way.
gym, so I'm sorry that I just had to put something in me, so please excuse me. And I'll share my banana. Does anybody want it?
I do.
You do? I was hoping
Ronnie?
you'd say no.
Hungry after
Hey, Teddy.
I'm gonna ask something to say in a different way, if that's okay.
Yeah.
Yesterday, Aram said it's good for a promotion when trainers talk about boxing. If they're talking about, this is Aram's word, shit, it's not good. You said yesterday you don't want to be part of the headlines of this, but do you think yours and Freddie's things have done anything for the promotion to get people interested in the fight?
No.
Not at all?
No, I think it's about the fighters. I mean, it's not about a guy eating a bit of apple here that doesn't have to worry about making weight, and he can eat an apple, and I could go eat a cheese McDonald's if I want. It's about the fighters. I mean, it's about the risk they take. You know, they take a risk every time they get in that ring, and it takes special traits to be able to get in that ring. You know, not just physical traits. You know, that's what separates them. You know, you have to obviously have good strength and good skill traits, good speed, hopefully power, technique. But to handle that duress, that stress, and the fear element of it, to know for 2 months that you're prepared to do something that really is the antithesis of what really nature prepares all of us for, which is just to escape from things like that. I mean, God, you know, it's a funny thing. If you went into an office building and IBM and you just watched a bunch of guys at lunch break, you see a bunch of guys hiding out around the water fountain, making believe they're drinking water just because they don't want to see somebody coming down the hall. They're avoiding confrontation. They're avoiding risk. They're avoiding, facing something. I mean, just don't want to see somebody uncomfortable. Just think about it. For 2 months, a fighter has to do the opposite of that. Go into the ring and face something uncomfortable, something risky, something confrontational every day. That's not exactly comfortable. It's not normal. I mean, again, what normal is finding a way to alleviate that, finding a way to escape that, to avoid that. And so they deserve to be able to do that. Do you know fighters don't sleep before fights? I don't sleep that much either, but because you'd be out of your mind. You'd be missing something if you were just getting a good night's sleep. You wouldn't be aware of what the heck is in front of you. I remember Costamano used to say that anyone who says they're afraid, they're either a liar or they should get a good doctor. Find out what the heck's wrong with them. Because something's missing, something's wrong.
Bradley said yesterday you would not allow any of the other stuff to get in. You're not that kind of, it's not your DNA to allow the other stuff to get to with Freddie. So he says that would be a shame because it's not going to happen.
It's not important. Freddie doesn't influence my life. My children do. My family does. Friends that I choose that I'm to be around me do. My fighter does. That's my responsibility, not him. he doesn't influence me in any sort of way. I mean, shame on me if I was to put weight towards that and thought towards that and any kind of concern of any kind towards that. What kind of person would I be? I have more important people to be concerned about. You know? And he shouldn't be concerned about me either, well, rightfully so.
Hey Teddy, what fights have you guys been studying outside of the 2 fights that Bradley already had with Pacquiao? You've been studying the Mayweather fights, any of them?
You're a genius. No, the Mayweather fight and Marquez fight is obviously fights that make sense to look at. Those are 2 guys that you know gave him some problems. You know, and obviously there's a reason for that. We look at that. We use whatever's available that makes sense. And I think that we've seen. I think what happens when you probably the same in probably the same thing in football, very contact sport. When you're playing, when you're competing against somebody as talented as Manny, and he wins his fight because of pure talent. I mean, he's a freak. You know, the combination of speed and power that he has, it's uncommon. And so when you're competing against someone like that, I think what can happen is that you see the obvious, but you don't see the stuff before the obvious. The obvious is the explosion of ability. And you're aware of that. His straight left hand, his right hook, the quickness, the surges, the hurricane of punches that come at you. But you don't see what comes before the storm. Listen, I don't do that much. But if I do anything, if I got any work to me other than this apple, I hope I can see and help my fighters see what comes before the obvious. Because he already knows what the end result is, that it's coming forward with you know, just a bushel of punches, again, that are explosive. But before that, there's some warning. There's something that shows you something, some delay, something there before that happens. And that's what I was hopefully trying to impart to my fighter and see what that was. You know, again, before, I don't know if it's proper analogy, but I think it is. Before a storm comes, the air gets sucked out of the place. You can feel it. You can feel it, and the sky is darkened a little bit. Well, before an explosion of ability comes from Manny, and obviously resulting in punches, there's some preliminary to that. Excuse me. There's habits that come before that. There's action. And those are things that we've tried to look at and be aware of, and are aware of. Now, can we do something about it? That's the question that keeps me up at night. You know, man, I wish I would trade this apple in for a crystal ball. I would make. I might actually want to do this again if I had a crystal ball. But nobody does. But it makes it hard to do this because I can only speak for myself. You wake up, you spend the day, and you go to bed every night just concerned that I do what I need to do to prepare my fighter for what he's doing and what he's about to do. And did I, you know, will I fail him? And it's a weight. Look, I'm not complaining. I mean, I'm blessed. I'm in a position that I'm very fortunate, and I get that. And I'm very privileged. I get it. But it doesn't mean that you don't feel what comes with that position and the care about a human being. That you have that responsibility. Very, very much like being a parent again. I didn't want to be a parent at this age. again. I got two beautiful kids. One got through law school, thank God. The other one works with Oakland Raiders, and I get free stuff. But I didn't want to be. I never pictured myself worrying about a 32-year-old son that now is doing things that can be risky, and I have to guide him, and I have to make sure that he gets through it okay, and he gets home all right. You know, and it is what it is. But I know I feel it, and I'm hoping that all the things that we worry to put in place will show themselves on Saturday night, and everything will be okay, and that I didn't fail him, because to be a decent trainer, and I hope I'm a decent trainer, but to be a decent trainer, you have to, obviously, to be decent in anything, you have to care about what you're doing, but you have to, and that doesn't give me a what do you call it, you know, on anything. Everybody cares about what they do, but I'm just saying that you do need to care, and you have to know something about what you're doing. Hopefully, you have to have some experience and background, understanding, be versed in what you're doing, and then you have to have in this case, a really good student, a really good athlete, someone who has skills, someone who has real good intellect, that can understand the things that you're trying to impart, that has tremendous mental awareness and toughness and all those things. But at the end of the day, the most important thing, you have to have trust. And when somebody gives you that trust, listen, I don't know how many people here I would trust. I gotta tell you, when that happens, when you really get pure trust, that's a beautiful thing, and it's a heavy, heavy burden, because you don't want to fail it. I mean, really, I think you guys look like nice guys, but I wouldn't trust you beyond until I knew I could. I wouldn't. I mean, it's because I don't know what you're doing with those pictures.
This is Bobby, and you're watching Dante's Boxing Nation.